so much drama on Twitter, on X, and the Bitcoin discussion. TikTok next block for me. The price went down, and I used to feel more like, oh darn it, I just want numbers to go up and validate my belief in the ultimate destination for all of us and what Bitcoin will do in the world. And nowadays, it's almost like it's an opportunity to catch up and stack better, stack more, because I still have complete understanding and faith, if you call it that, in the math. I believe in the math. So it's an opportunity with price drops like this to stack. So I don't feel bad about price drops because I've just been through quite a few. Robin, you've been in for years. And when we wrote it down back in 2021 or so, and it had hit, up in the 60s, or maybe it touched 70, and then it started to slide and slide and slide and slide and slide. And when you've ridden that down for a while, and stuck to it, to your principles, and reaffirmed why you're in this, as it came back and comes back and steadily goes up, and you've zoomed out and you've had that opportunity to just be like, this isn't my first rodeo. I feel fine. I feel all right about the price. And that's in fiat. So, hey, one Bitcoin is still one Bitcoin. So,
and there's this interesting thing that I fully believe in is, if you are extremely worried about Bitcoin when it goes down, you haven't fully grasped it. And it's almost like and I compare this with a stupid example. If you have a sock that you need, and it's your favorite sock, and it's the sock that you always wear, and you see it on sale, instead of like $8 a bag, it costs like $7 a bag. You're not going ahead and selling your socks that you already have.
Sure.
You're going ahead and like, oh, I need that sock anyways all my life. I will buy more of that sock, so I have some. And in the same way as like with Bitcoin, if you understood Bitcoin and you know what Bitcoin represents and you know what Bitcoin is, you're not going to sell it just because it goes down in price. If it goes down in price, it just means the great thing that I love just got cheaper, and I get more of it for less fiat. And I was like, that's the best thing you can possibly have. So I don't know. If you freak out about a dip, you probably haven't really grasped what Bitcoin is.
Yeah, I think if you're feeling FUD over fiat prices, or you've felt that before, it's just time to stop and reflect on, what do you understand about Bitcoin? Why are you still in Bitcoin? And if you're going to hodl, why are you hodling? Because that's really the important question. Is not, I want to get rich, I want to retire, I want to get there quickly, I want to win the race. It's deeper than that. It's really so much deeper than that. And for me, it gets down to just the ethics of money and the fiat money we have, the whole system we have. Ultimately, I want that system to, at best, get fixed, but I wouldn't be against it. Certain failures occurring in that space if there's a better money to replace it. So I'm just that crazy about it.
And I'm really stumbled by that, because the sentiment is super low. It feels like we're in a long-winded bear market. We've been way far off the all-time high, like since 3 years. It's only going down. When you look at the data, it's like we are up 67% the last 12 months, a CAGR of 67%. Like you can calculate with that CAGR where we are in like 5 years and 10 years, like the numbers will blow you out of the waters. The last 5 years, we are up 937%. Like it's a freaking awesome asset. And people are doomsaying of like, oh, it's dipping. Like, I don't, like it's so bad. Like it's gonna go to zero. I'm like, yeah, study more, look at one more podcast, read one more book. I don't know.
Yep. It can be a time to stop and reflect and learn.
Morning, Johnny.
Yeah, well, I mean, like what? Yeah, a year ago, all last summer, we were just riding the whole 58K gang thing. It's like 58K, 58K. And then for a while there last winter or so, it was like 98K and kind of riding 98K. And if we're going to ride, if 110 sounds like it's a fall, yeah, you got to zoom out.
I want to get back to 57K, gang. I tried to say good morning. I think my mic was muted. Good morning, Johnny. Good to see you, sir. Oh, you did.
Good morning, Johnny. Yeah. You zoom out. Sailors mentioned, hey, it comes with volatility, but if you understand the first principles of it all, like, we're fine. It's doing what it does.
What do you guys think of this idea? Because like when I hear people nowadays and they go like, we want sound money. I'm just like, it always makes me cringe now, dude, because I go like, and I posted this on Twitter the other day. I said, people who don't understand money want better money. People who do understand money want Bitcoin. And then I said few, right? But like I hear whether it's the monetary maxi quote unquote people or the number go up people or the Michael Saylor people. I actually like Saylor's view because he doesn't talk about sound money. He talks about pristine property. And I go, yeah, that's the correct assessment, I think. But, nowadays, like, because I come from this idea that says money is a tool of oppression. It's not like, it's nothing you can gain freedom through because it's by design there to oppress you. So when I hear someone go, I want sound money, you go, you want a sound tool of oppression? What are you talking about? So it's always a little confusing. I'm curious what you guys think of that idea.
Well, there's a contingent of Bitcoin folks.
58K gang. Yeah, 58K
gang. It wasn't that
bro.
long ago. I know. I remember the whole 58K months we went through. And so, yeah, and the volatility was a little less, but it wasn't like, when moon and, moon is still in the horizon at some point. There are things that are going to trigger moons. There's a contingent of Bitcoiners that definitely are like Dorsey, I think, was definitely like, this has to be a medium of exchange. This needs to be functional as a medium of exchange. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be great if it can be.
Dorsey is a Fed.
So feds aside, there may be feds everywhere. We're wondering who all is feds these days.
And Bitcoin is already a medium of exchange. Like,
yeah,
I don't get that because people always tell me in the comments like, oh, Bitcoin is not money. Bitcoin is never like a medium of exchange. Like I get paid in Bitcoin. Like I pay my freelancers in Bitcoin. I use it as a medium of exchange. Like every single week.
Yeah,
like it is there. Like maybe not for you, but for me it is.
Yeah. Right.
and it was an interesting point from Daniel because like, I mean, I also see like there's a lot of like, we talk about the same thing, but we gave it different names. So like if someone talks about pristine of a pristine asset, he might talk about the same thing as someone calls it sound money. Right. So I feel like sometimes it's like just like a different word for the same thing. But yeah, I just wanted to shout it out because it really annoys me when people say it will never be money. I'm like, I use it as money. Yeah. Blueberries can be money. Like if you pay someone in blueberries and you get paid in blueberries, like then this is your money. But for me, it's like it already showed that it can be a medium of exchange. It already showed that it can be a store of value. And then there's this interesting discussion. I talked with Bram about that of like how many people do we need? Of like how many people do we need to really adopt Bitcoin as money to make it a global option? And I make it very bad example for Bitcoiners. It's about vegetarians. I don't know if you have heard that comparison. Think about a restaurant, and the restaurant has no vegetarian option. This restaurant, if there are no vegetarians in the world, like it will just go on. But if there are 5% vegetarians in the world, or like let's say a higher number, let's say 10% vegetarians in the world on average, and the restaurant has like 1,000 people running through there, and 10% of those people running through there come in and say, hey, do you have a vegetarian option? No. Oh, we have to go because like I only eat vegetarian. At some point, the store owner will say, I don't know if this number is 3%, 10%, or 8%. At some point, the store owner will be like, hey, let's put one vegetarian option in there just so that the people stop leaving if they already sat down and are prepared to order. Exactly. And the same thing might happen with Bitcoin when if a small but loud enough intolerant minority is there that says like, I want to pay in Bitcoin. Like I don't want to pay in anything else.
You quoted the trader, dude. How dare you?
what trader?
No, I'm not diving into the Dragon's Lair. I shouldn't have said anything.
We're feeling divisive today. Yeah, our last president may have been vegetarian to his heart and brain.
No, I think he meant something different, Johnny. That he was a vegetable.
Yeah,
he was a vegetable. Business market forces will incentivize the use of Bitcoin as a medium of exchange naturally. I mean, likely second layers, of course, but Bitcoin. And then, but most people probably, when they're serious, solid Bitcoiners, it's less of a sound money as it is that sound store of value. And I think that is perfectly fine.
What would you say is sound money? Like, how would you define sound money?
So in the sense that you have, so say you have your longer term treasury that you hold and you don't want to be debased. If you're going to use a part of that in a liquid fashion to just simply transact in the world and interact with the world, as you're doing that, it's nice to know that also isn't being debased as you're using it, and you don't have to on-ramp and off-ramp to do that. It itself can be, so it'd be like, yeah, you have your money in your bank account and that is sound. And then you've got some money in your wallet and you'd like that to be the same thing and you don't want to have to convert.
So what gives it the properties of money versus like we're just trading property, like fractional property?
It might be semantics. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it has to be different.
Well, that's kind of the thing is like, I look at it and go, money doesn't really have a definition, right? Like I've given it a definition. Adam Smith gave it a definition. Lynn Alden gives it a definition. Safadine gives it a definition, but I don't think it's definable, right? I believe there is a core definition of it. It's a tool to extract resources from a population, but the way people view money is malleable, right? So I think it makes it difficult to parse that out because I think you're right. You go, is this a semantic thing? Like if I had a pile of blueberries and I could fractionally divide them down to the micron level, and blueberries are super rare and hard to get, and me and Robin wanted to trade blueberries, like we could go, well, that's money because we're using it as money based on the definition that Adam Smith gave. But Adam Smith was some retard from the 1700s who thought, bleeding people was a good way to balance the humors. So he's not exactly a great resource for defining a thing that drives the modern economy today. I mean, that guy couldn't even conceive of heavier than air flight, and he probably would have stoned a witch to death because she cast a spell on him, So that's like the level of retardation that we're relying on for our money definition today. And so I go, well, if me and Robin are trading blueberries and we didn't have a preconceived notion of what money is, what would me and Robin be doing? Using money or trading blueberries? Right. It may be a semantic distinction, but I go, well, but it's an important distinction at the end of the day, because if you're saying, I want this to be money and someone's thinking currency, I want this to be money and someone's thinking store of value. If I want this to be money and someone's thinking that's how I tax people, I want this to be money and that means something else. You kind of go, well, what are we talking about anymore, right? But if you had the ability to directly trade property, you kind of go, well, okay, this property represents X amount of value. So, it becomes a very different kind of conversation, right? Like, I don't know, dude. Like if I wanted to get 100 horseshoes off of you, Fritz, because I know you're the best blacksmith in town, and I trade you a bunch of paper for it, and you go, yeah, we used money. You go, well, what you did was you traded a promise. You traded the sovereign promise to return like value, but you didn't really, but the paper isn't really the money, is it? Like what's the money there? Is that because as everyone's pointed out, paper has no value, right? So you go, what did we just trade? But everyone calls the dollar money. But at the back end of that, there is an apparatus, the sovereign, that is going, okay, well, we make more of this paper every single year, so we get more value. and we force people to pay taxes in this paper so we get their value, and we can trade this paper to our subjects to get things from them. So there's value there, right? So they are just extracting value by this thing that they print out of thin air and forcing you to use. So you go, okay, that's money. But if you go, well, I want Bitcoin to replace that, and you go, wait, so you want the sovereign to use Bitcoin to extract value from you? Is that what you're saying now? And people go, no, that's not what I'm saying. I want to be able to black market money where I can trade. So you go, okay, so now we're back to bartering property. Is that correct? And they go, no, it's money because it's, I just go, you end up in this like really weird circular logic that doesn't ever resolve. So I'm kind of curious how that all plays out. Like now that I've said all this, I'm sat here just spouting a bunch of fucking philosophical nonsense. I'm curious what you guys think of that take.
Well, Bitcoin could just be the most common used, relatable asset of exchange. Like you can use it as a medium of exchange. And then our fiat linguistics, our sense of what money is, being the linguistics of our financial brain. We're used to thinking in terms of fiat money. So, okay, we're going to replace fiat money, but it would be something inherently different. Yes, it's a medium of exchange, as it's also inherently a property. So a property that can magically be used as a medium of exchange and yet isn't issued, isn't like controlled by a government or entity or otherwise extracted from you and isn't debased. People are going to probably use the word money, even as what they probably mean is the most common medium of exchange, which also happens to be like the best property on the planet. I don't know. Maybe it's just the words.
Yeah, it's the words. I mean, I think we need a new language for this, right? But I don't know. What do you think, Robin?
I literally, because I never really questioned those two terminologies. For me, what it like kind of interchangeable, and I just went on a deep rabbit hole with ChatGPT. I was like, what the heck is the difference between like sound money and pristine property? And it was kind of confusing what he said, like, like every pristine property can be sound money, but not all sound monies can be pristine property. And I was kind of going down and saying like, you don't make any sense. And he said like, sound money is sound money has those properties, and then pristine property also has those properties, but additionally them. And I'm like, and those additional properties the same that also sound money has? And you're like, oh yeah, like you're kind of right, but it's like it's and he literally brought that thing up. It's kind of like there's a sound car that runs reliable and gets you where you need to go, and there's a pristine car that's perfectly engineered and the machine does exactly what it needs to do, but it's still a car. And I'm like, okay, so it's kind of the same thing. And he's like, okay, yeah, like so it was a small fun chat, and that's where I'm like, if you say sound money to 10 people, they probably have 10 kind of different definitions, the same way as if I say pristine property, if I say to 10 different people of like, what is it? And this is also so hard with Bitcoin, because like the Bitcoin, what it is today, we never really had. We had maybe similar things. Maybe we can combine 1, 2, 3 things together, and like there is Bitcoin, but we never really had it. So that's why I like to say, Bitcoin is just Bitcoin.
Yeah.
maybe I think it's hard to say. Yeah, it's hard to get our minds around the idea that, it's like if you want to hold something as a store of value in the best way you can, what we're used to is that kind of a thing is something that's not very liquid either. It's like it's gold, it's property, it's things that are like illiquid, and that makes them physically hold value. Whereas Bitcoin can do all that and be very liquid as well. And so it's like a different frame on the capability of sound property.
I love the last sentence that ChatGPT told me. So calling Bitcoin a pristine asset is really just another way of saying it is the purest form of sound money ever created.
Thank you for watching this video. This is just a short clip from our full episode. So if you'd like to enjoy more entertaining wisdom found in our podcasts in their full context, just click a link in the corner. We are always sharing our big ideas on Bitcoin Liberty Live.